Emergency Management Associates, we're dedicated and true. Bringing you the essential. From disaster preparedness to navigating recovery's embrace. Here to guide you in every unpredictable time and place. We break down the complex, make it easy to grasp and absorb, sharing strategies for safety, the vital lessons you can't afford to hoard So thank you for watching, and thank you so much for your sub. You're a key part of our growing family, a member of our knowledge club. With every like, every share, and every comment you send our way, our critical message spreads further, helping more people every single day. Together we're stronger and more prepared. That's the truth we all abide. You help us build resilience with nowhere for uncertainty to hide. Your engagement truly inspires us. Your feedback acts as a guiding light, helping us continually grow and making our channel's future bright. We're always learning, always striving to be better. Bring you the most up-to-date information, no matter the weather. Is watching, keep learning, because we truly appreciate all that you do. Thank you.
That's the first time we started our ending song at the beginning of the program. That's wild. Welcome to Emergency Management Associates, guys. Welcome to our program today. We have a lot of things we want to talk about today. Okay? Lots and lots of things we want to talk about. But guys, please be aware of everything going on around you. Please be aware of everything going on around you every day. Things are changing on a daily basis, literally. Changing all over on the daily basis. We have to be aware of everything going on around us. Otherwise, we're going to come up a dollar late and a day short, or a day short and $1 late. Let's put it that way. Not going to be fun. This may not be fun for anybody. I want to make that very clear. Be very well aware of everything going on around you. It's vitally important for each one of us and our safety. Be aware of everything going on around you guys. It's important. Now, as you can see, I've got a banner I found a long time ago. I found this. I put it up now because this broadcast is coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. Welcome to our program, everybody. We appreciate you being here. Thank you for joining us. Now, guys, like I said, we have a lot of things we want to talk about. The first thing I want to talk about tonight is an airline crash in New York City, LaGuardia International Airport. Let's talk about this right now.
The runway collision at LaGuardia Airport, an Air Canada jet colliding with a fire truck crossing the runway while landing. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy is on his way to the scene as the NTSB investigates. And welcome to a brand new hour of America's Newsroom. I'm Dana Perino.
Wow, morning to you. I'm Bill Hemmer. Good morning again. Second hour begins now, and here's what we know. Both pilots in New York were killed in that collision. which happened just seconds after touchdown around midnight last night. There were dozens of passengers on board taken to the hospital. The very busy New York City airport is still closed as of this hour. Adding to the widespread travel disruptions caused by the partial government shutdown. This, however tragic, I should say, notwithstanding, the issues at the airport for hundreds of thousands of travelers continues to grind on. Dana.
And the workers, of course, are having to deal with that. And harrowing new audio appears to show an air traffic controller giving the fire truck clearance just moments before the crash. Listen.
Frontier 4195, just stop there, please. Stop, truck one, stop. Stop, truck one, stop. Stop, truck one, stop. No 2603, go around, runway heading 2000. Jet 646. Jet 646, I see you collide with vehicle in just hold position. I know you can't move.
CB Cotton live on the scene with these developing details. Hi, CB.
Dana, good morning. Yes, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy will join NTSB investigators as the work continues to figure out how this happened. If you take a look here, you can see the Air Canada plane is still on the runway, badly damaged. In audio from moments after the crash, you can also hear what appears to be that air traffic controller saying he made a mistake.
That wasn't good to watch. Yeah, I know I was here. I tried to reach out to my staff, and we were dealing with an emergency earlier. I messed up. No, man, you did the best you could.
So, as you mentioned, 2 pilots were tragically killed after the violent collision between the Air Canada plane and a Port Authority fire truck. After the crash, the nose of the aircraft was completely sheared off, and you could see cables and debris hanging from the mangled cockpit. Just feet away, the damaged fire truck lying on its side. Officials say the flight from Montreal was landing at around 11:30 Sunday night when it collided into a fire truck that was responding to another issue. We're told dozens of people were hospitalized and many have since been released, but the Port Authority says serious injuries remain. The 2 people in the fire truck, thankfully, are expected to be okay. Our Fox weather team has told us there was light rain, fog, and mist at the time of the crash, but nothing else. Aviation experts tell Fox the runways at LaGuardia Airport are difficult to route.
It's incredibly difficult. We have, ground control, air traffic control, 2 different frequencies. And LaGuardia is literally like a maze. I mean, it's almost like the New York City streets, very, very complex. And LaGuardia is on a very small parcel of property with intersecting runways. I've talked about LaGuardia before. It's a very dangerous airport because of the short runways and, all the different taxiways.
There are no flights in or out of LaGuardia today until at least 2 p.m. Eastern, but it could be even later than that if the NTSB needs to finish its investigation. Dana.
Thank you, CB. We appreciate it.
So more on this with former FAA spokesman Scott Brenner. And Scott, welcome to our coverage. That guest said that LaGuardia is dangerous. I would say it's difficult and it's challenging. Dangerous, I would not put that in that category. What do you see happening here, Scott, last night at midnight?
No, yeah, I would agree, Bill. It's a safe airport and has been a safe airport for a long time. And the FAA has put some limitations on that airport where they limit the number of takeoffs and landings. It's like 71 per hour. So it's a very constricted airport, but there is stuff going on. There is lots of traffic going on. And anytime I see one of these crashes, right, it's a series of events that led to this, right? So United Flight declares an emergency because some of the flight attendants aren't feeling well. They roll the fire truck, and this is what happens. But then you also see the development of technology. I mean, this is a long-standing problem, the intersection of ground equipment and aircraft. And the FAA, probably 20 years ago, developed a system called Airport Service Detection Equipment, ASDX. And we've got it deployed at about 35 airports right now nationally. It's a great technology, and it alerts controllers about potential conflicts. And I'm assuming that this controller or everybody in that tower was seeing an alert going off as this fire truck was going across that active runway and you had that Jazz Air coming in. So it's all very frustrating to see that we had the technology and now we just have to figure out why it happened.
And you mentioned this ASDEX surface detention tech. We have a graphic there for everybody to see where that takes place. one thing for you, you are a spokesperson, and I think that when you have on audio an air traffic controller saying, "I messed up," I mean, I don't know how much more in the investigation needs to take place. He said he messed up. Scott.
Yeah, so it is hard. I mean, again, as we see with these crashes again, early indicators are always usually wrong, so we'll see what happens. But he did clear that fire truck to go across an active runway, knowing that aircraft was coming in. And I don't know if there was an assumption made that he could get across it quick enough, or if he did that fire truck hold short before he went across the runway and asked for permission. So we got a lot to see. But I believe controllers, anytime there's a crash, everybody feels somewhat responsible for it. What could I have done differently to have prevented that happening?
Scott, I wonder if the time of day mattered here. It's midnight. Passengers have had a long day. Crews had a long day. The pilots. Many of these airports at midnight, you can just cruise right across the tarmac.
Yeah.
But this one proved deadly. Scott, thanks for coming on.
Thanks,
Scott
guys.
Brenner, thank you.
Okay, that's what happened at LaGuardia last night. Again, a crash at LaGuardia Airport at approximately 11:30 last night. And as a result, 2 pilots in that aircraft are gone, unfortunately, and 38 passengers on board the plane remain. They're awake. Some of them will still lie in a hospital room at this time, but a lot of these passengers got very lucky. They're still alive to talk about it. This happens. There are aircraft going down across this world, across this country, almost on a daily basis. This is by far the worst to happen last night. Okay? Again, LaGuardia Airport, 11:30 last night, a passenger plane coming out of Canada, tried to land at LaGuardia Airport. An air traffic controller that was monitoring ground traffic, meaning trucks, aviation-related equipment, and fire trucks around the runway. He gave clearance to the fire truck to go across the main landing runway there, and he made a mistake, allegedly made a mistake, and an aircraft, Air Canada aircraft coming in with 77 passengers on board, came down, crossed down that runway, and landed smack dab head on into that fire truck. Sad day today. Very sad day today. Now, guys, it happens. It does happen. Very unfortunate. I've covered aircraft crashes on the ground and in the air since 2019. I've covered it. I don't like it. I've covered it. We're going to continue doing so. Main stories involving people's lives. Something else in Hawaii. We covered it starting last Thursday when the ground became saturated from what they call a Kona low, which is a very bad storm, near hurricane strength storm that hit the islands of Hawaii, not just the Big Island. Kauai, Maui, and Oahu received flooding. Let's watch this broadcast here. This comes from Fox Weather Command.
Rain falling over the islands of Hawaii, leading to significant damage. These back-to-back Kona lows slamming the Hawaiian Islands during and dumping over a year's worth of rain in some spots. Kona lows, they're a name given to an area of low pressure that bring rain to the leeward side of the Hawaiian Islands. The leeward side is typically the drier side. Those storms led to damaging floods, displacing families, devastating several island communities.
Yeah, residents across, especially the northern side of Oahu, were placed under that flash flood emergency early on Friday morning, before the sun was even up. And now, as the worst of the rain begins to taper off, in fact, that Kona low responsible for that heavy rain is now 1,200 miles off to the north. Residents still trying to make sense and assess the damage of what is left behind in the wake of all of that rain. We have Fox Weather correspondent Robert Ray joining us with a live look into the current status, especially along the north shore of Oahu this morning. So, Robert, I mean, wild event that played out, but still this morning seeing at least some of the damage behind you.
Yeah, well, good morning. It is the 2 a.m. hour here in Oahu, and the damage behind me, Marissa, Stephen, and everyone, is extensive. You see the piles of the interior of people's homes, and that includes quite literally everything. Couches, bedspreads, appliances, and they're all sitting on mud. We just had a light rain come through here. There are roadways that are still compromised with mud and some water here on the North Shore. And this is Waialahu, and this is a tight-knit community on the North Shore. And with two back-to-back Kona lows, they have gone through a lot. But the biggest punch was Friday night, about the same time as right now, 2 a.m. Hawaii time. Have a listen.
Above Oahu, Hawaii, relentless rain continued to slam the Hawaiian Islands throughout the weekend. Dangerous flash flooding caused thousands of evacuations, soaring power outages, and over 200 rescues and devastating damage in Hawaii. Just arriving here in the North Shore of Oahu, and what I'm seeing so far is really bad scenes of disaster. And I want to get out and walk you guys through this. Right now, there are piles of debris, and you see that this has all been brought out of people's homes. There is a flurry of activity going on here with heavy machinery and locals amid light rain that still continues to fall and mud everywhere. Survivors are taking the cleanup into their own hands.
I mean, all the floodwaters brought all the mud and it's covered people's homes. And so they're trying to get all the broken cars out, all of their things. And on top of that, just so much mud. There's more mud than you can even move. And so you have work inside there. People are trying to come and help.
On Oahu's North Shore, neighborhoods are torn up. Mud is everywhere, and homes were lifted off of their foundations by rushing water.
There's an overwhelming amount of people that want to come and help. And so controlling that in a small area where there's only two ways in, it's kind of chaos.
And all the houses behind my cousin's house all went to the river.
Inside many of the homes, the aftermath of floodwaters. Furniture and belongings pushed around, now sitting on mud and water. Vehicles submerged, some of them being lifted out by tractors. Hawaii's Governor Josh Green said in a Friday evening press conference that this is the largest flood Hawaii has seen in 20 years. But there is frustration on the ground. Locals are looking for help.
Yeah, just trying to clean up our community and wish our government would get a little smarter and more common sense about these waterways. And send us some equipment.
We've got residents controlling traffic in a major intersection. We've called HPD and we're still waiting for somebody to come help, but we need some leadership here, somebody from the government to come and direct things and keep things safe.
I need the government to have some brains. Common sense goes a long way.
In some of the areas on Oahu, feet of rain fell, and the governor says this could be a $1 billion disaster. While the surveying and cleanup continues, the beauty is still mesmerizing surrounding the Hawaiian Islands.
It is. You know, Hawaii is one of the most spectacularly beautiful places on the planet. But behind me, as the mist falls on the high terrain here, the Pacific Ocean just to the north, and the debris fields in this area, it is not pretty for the residents, and there are frustrations. And this is a new day ahead. And so I think that we're going to see progress, not only from the local government and officials, but also, you know, FEMA is on the ground as well. Red Cross flew in with me yesterday from mainland. They're setting up operations in the area to help those that are displaced, that homes are ruined and inundated. If there's any good news, at least power outages have ticked down. We are now in the 100s of customers out, not the thousands. And the dam that was potentially thought to be compromised, owned by the Dole Corporation that does, all the fruit. They're based out of the mainland, but obviously operations here. That's about 10 miles to the south. We are told that it is holding. Having said that, you get a power of rain that comes back in here again and elevates that dam. We could have issues. Honolulu, about 20 plus miles away, they are monitoring the situation on the North Shore, as we will continue to do so. Back to you.
Yeah, Robert, I think when you look at the past more than a week, this area, that dam you referenced, it was thought with the first Kona low that it was going to breach that dam. Yeah. It held, and then we saw the flash flood emergency and that concern through the weekend. But a long week of it. Thankfully, quiet weather. We're seeing the trade winds that are going to settle back in and the impact of all of that rain that is moving off to the north. So now it just becomes a story about the people and the recovery efforts. Appreciate that update this morning. Fox Weather correspondent Robert Ray.
Okay, unreal, guys. We started reporting on this problem in Hawaii on Thursday evening. This has gotten substantially worse. This has gotten very worse since then. Again, the first low came in on Thursday, and then Saturday evening, the second low came through almost like a hurricane, came in there and inundated this area. Every one of the islands across the Hawaiian island chain, from down to the southeast on the Big Island, up to the northwest on Oahu, all the islands have been substantially affected. Every one of them. Again, as this gentleman here said, they'd appreciate some leadership. They'd appreciate some government help to come in, not to just control the waterways, rivers, and creeks, but also to help control traffic, as menial as that sounds, to control traffic. Citizens are directing traffic over there on the islands, not substantial, experienced police. Unfortunately. That's what's going on here in Hawaii, guys. Very sad day in Hawaii. I've been on the North Shore, been substantially all over the North Shore. Lae, Hawaii, all over. Unfortunately, this area is a disaster area today. Very sad thing. Now, you guys also mentioned a helicopter crash in Boynton Beach, Florida. Let's show you that helicopter crash right now. Hold on a second. Going news conference that was held just about 53 minutes ago.
Hey, it's Ashley with 4 Patriots. We're in a bit of trouble. To put it plainly, we need to clear out some...
Boynton Beach PD both responded to this area, 3800 South Congress. Upon arrival, we did find one small helicopter inside one of the buildings that crashed through the roof. There were no survivors. We secured the scene. We still are actively on scene, and we're waiting for FAA to get here to investigate.
Was anybody at the building, inside the building at the time of the crash?
This is a vacant building. There were workers, but not inside.
How many fatalities have you counted?
I'm unsure. That'll be FAA to decide, and we haven't got an accurate number.
At this point, do we know where the chopper was coming from?
I do not.
Do we know why the helicopter?
I do not. The next neighborhood over called it in. You guys know as well as I do. People could have random video, or actually, we haven't got any word of anything so far.
Do you have any names of the people who were on board?
I do not.
What time of day did this happen?
12:30. 12:24 exactly is when our call came in.
What is the use of this building? I know you said it's vacant, but what is it designed for?
It's a warehouse. There's actually nothing inside. They're still doing drywall work. So there was nobody inside the actual building where the helicopter crashed. So it's not, this building isn't even open yet.
You know, I'm not seeing much of a scene. Was there a fire? What was the scene that it caused after it crashed?
Yeah, so this was no fire, no smoke. Yeah, usually you would see it from far away. We actually got dispatched to the next neighborhood over, and we had to come and search and find it. It only took us a couple minutes to reroute, but yeah, no smoke, no flame, no fire, not much fuel spill.
You said located.
We had multiple P units in the area, and dispatch on the phone with people who saw it go down gave us the accurate description, so we were on scene with no delay.
What were some of those calls like? They just saw the aircraft in distress and they just saw it go down. Like, was it smoking or?
I didn't hear anything about smoking. I didn't hear about any distress. All we got was it could have been a small plane, and then they accurately described it as a small helicopter.
Yeah, so what did they see leading up to the moments? Is that what they were calling in about?
Yeah, they just saw it go down east of this neighborhood is what they described.
Was the helicopters, trying to land on any of the roofs?
I don't know if they were trying to land or not. That's just where they ended up, was on one of the roofs and went through. It's a lightweight truss roof, so it actually crashed through it.
Can you describe what you and your crew saw as you guys were arriving to the scene? Like, what did describe to us, walk us through, like, what you saw?
Yeah, so like any scene, obviously you pull up and you see, pieces of the helicopter. We honestly didn't see much because all the doors are shut on the warehouse, and it went directly through the center. So what we did see was water flow. This is a building that's not officially open, but it does have the fire alarm systems, and the water. So water was flowing out. No smoke, no flame. Took our crews a minute to get around to get inside. It's obviously a very big building. They go inside and they found all the wreckage, and basically told us what was going on inside. And then we tried to secure, obviously, the hazards.
I saw a report there was 2 people that died. Do you have a number?
I'm not sure. Yeah.
And so the investigation now is the FAA?
Yes, we're waiting on the FAA, and they'll continue with everything else.
So they're not here yet, right?
I don't believe so.
We saw.
On their way. That's all we have now.
We saw a few workers coming out. Were they the ones that were working on this particular building? I know you said they weren't.
There were workers around. They weren't in that building. No.
Thank you, everyone.
Yes, all the authorities have been notified. We're waiting.
What's next for you guys? You just waiting for them? You have to clean up? You have to go into...
Yeah, most of us have already gone back in service. We leave one unit on scene, and the rest of us clean up and go back to work.
How many units did respond to the fire rescue?
Good? I think we're done with questions. Appreciate it.
Tell me how many units?
We had 6 total.
Okay, thank you.
From fire department. Thank you.
Thank you.
They said nothing could.
That's what happened there, guys. Unfortunately, that's what happened there. It does happen. It absolutely does happen. And almost nothing can be done about it, unfortunately. Unfortunately. Does anybody have any questions about the helicopter crash in Boynton, Florida, or the plane crash at LaGuardia, or the unfortunate storm that hit the islands of Hawaii and did such tremendous damage? Any questions? Yes, Marianne says, please hit the thumbs up button. And I want to emphasize that. Please, yes, hit the thumbs up. That way YouTube knows that you guys enjoy what you see on this program. They also get the idea somebody watches this program. They are significantly putting down this program all over social media. They're not letting people watch this program. Okay? They're not doing it. We have significant people watching it right now, 35 people watching this program right now. I appreciate that ever so much. One of the other analytical factors that they use are the number of people that are watching this program and the length of time that you're watching. If you come to this program, please stay for as very long as you can, because they also look at the amount of watch time. The amount of watch time people watching this program. Guys, it is essential to keep this program on the air. We need to up our watch time. Okay? Before this year, we were getting upwards of 20, 30 minutes watch time per individual. Now it's down to about 8 or 9, sometimes 10 minutes long. Even yesterday's Sunday school program, most people stayed for the majority of the program, which is awesome. Awesome. We appreciate that so much. But during the week, guys, viewership drops off, just like we just lost one viewer right now, unfortunately. Okay, we want you to be here for a reason, to find out what's going on. We cover national issues. We cover international issues as well. Always, always. And come to matter of fact about that, President Trump issued an announcement today, a major announcement. Okay? The war in Iran has reach a ceasefire stage. Iranian officials have said that they're willing to meet and are meeting now with negotiators from Israel and the United States to end the bombing in Iran. They want it stopped. So President Trump warned them. They have 5 days to come to a negotiation that everybody is entitled to. 5 days to come to a decision on how far they're going to go, how far this bombing situation is going to go, and how much Iran wants to stop it. If they come to a decision within 5 days, including today, that means by Friday night at midnight. If they come to a decision then, the war in Iran will stop. However, Iran has also tried to mine the Strait of Hormuz, stopping any kind of shipping, including oil and freight, through the Gulf there. They tried to stop it. The United States has kept the Strait of Hormuz open for now. They've been escorting ships, oil and freight through the Strait of Hormuz. Hopefully it'll stay open. The Strait of Hormuz is a 2-mile wide body of water. Iran wanted to completely mine that area and stop shipping of all kinds. They did that years ago, and they did stop anything from going through the Gulf. Now it's open. It's been open since then, until we started bombing Iran to stop Iran's possibility of having nuclear weapons. Now, we have proven, as of last week, that Iran had the weapons necessary to put together a nuclear weapon. They had the capability, they had the know-how, they had the experience, and they had the hardware to put together a nuclear weapon. The United States has now stopped that. The U.S. and Israel have now stopped that completely. Hopefully this war is over. This war is over, we hope. Okay? That remains to be seen through at least Friday night this week. We'll see what happens. Okay? We'll see what happens. A lot of things are going on, negotiations in Washington, and most of it's via phone. Okay? The Iranian officials can't get out of Iran because we've destroyed their runways. We destroyed all capability of them even traveling. They can't go anywhere. Okay? But this being said, the phone lines are still open, and negotiations have already started to stop this war. Hopefully it'll stop. Hopefully it'll stop. Iran did put up a long-range ballistic missile, went out into the Indian Ocean almost to Diego Garcia, where the British have an airport, an air landing facility where we put bombers up in the air from Diego Garcia to go to Iran and bomb the heck out of Iran. That's not the only place we've been. We have nuclear aircraft carrier all throughout the region. We also have runways throughout the Middle East. That's what started this. We had the capability of doing it. We did it. Iran also bombed out the heck of their neighboring countries, trying to stop the war, trying to maintain control of that Middle East area. They were not successful, not at all. The United States eliminated Iran's expertise in controlling the Middle East. It's over. That area of Middle Eastern control is over. At least the people, the countries in the Middle East will have some kind of freedom going forward. Now, there are a lot of places all throughout the Middle East that have contingencies for traveling, tourist traffic, business traffic. That's still up in the air. For example, there is a wrestling match that's supposed to be in Saudi Arabia sometime this summer. I believe it's June or July this year. That is up in the air because of what's happened. It remains to be seen whether that will still happen. A lot of things like that, conferences and conventions throughout the world have been stopped in the Middle East for now. We'll see what happens. Okay? But again, the bombing is stopped in Iran. We'll see what happens from here. Iran also on Sunday lobbed a missile over in Israel. Okay? Lobbed a missile over in Israel. Several missiles, in fact. One landed in Tel Aviv, completely destroying the housing area. Completely destroying a residential housing area. Another one went over the Temple Mount. Fortunately, the Temple Mount itself was not damaged itself, but the surrounding area was, okay? They did not hit the mosque, which is the Dome on the Rock. They didn't hit it, but they hit the outside walls of Jerusalem. The Temple Mount for now is secure. Hopefully that will remain so, okay? Do we have any questions about anything so far? We're going to talk about earthquakes now as well, unless you have more questions. We appreciate everybody that's here, guys. We really do. I want everybody here that are our mods here on this program. We thank you for being here. God bless you. We couldn't do this show without you. Also, guys, you notice down here at the bottom of your screen, please, if you want to help support this program, do so. Send donations to our PayPal locations on this program. RLT, paypal.me/RLTNSPD@hotmail.com. We have another one, paypal.me/EMERMGMTASSOC591. That's a PayPal. Our Venmo location is presently not working, but our PayPal locations are. Also, you should see our mailing address, 504 Bethel Road, Box 401. Morganton, North Carolina, zip code here is 28655. You can send us cards and letters there. Inside the card or letter, if you decide to do so, we'd appreciate it. Inside your card or letter, you can stick cash or a check and mail it to us. We'd appreciate that way of donation as well. People do it. They've done it all the time in the past. It's been quite some time until just recently we received 2 cards just recently in the mail. We received cards and letters all the time before that had donations inside the letter or the card. We appreciate that immensely, guys. We really do. That means the world to us to keep this program in the air. It takes a lot of money to keep this program flowing. I didn't realize that when I started this back in 2019, but within about 6 or 8 months after I started this program, nearly 7 years ago. But shortly after that, I found out, hey, bandwidth costs money. In order to broadcast this program adequately, we had to buy bandwidth. It's very expensive here. Very, very expensive here. We'd appreciate your help in keeping us on the air as well. Okay? Takes money, unfortunately. Thank you for that help. We appreciate it. Let's talk about earthquakes now, okay? Now, I want to talk about some earthquakes that happened in Alaska first. Let's talk about earthquakes in Alaska first, okay? I'm going to take down our EMA banner. I'm going to take down our webcam for the time being. I want to go over here into Alaska, okay? I want to talk about what's going on. You see some earthquakes down here in the Rat Island area of Alaska, Aleutian Islands, but up here in the northern part of Alaska here, 74 miles south of Katavik, Alaska, yesterday morning, there was a 6.2 earthquake. 6.2 earthquake. But guys, guess what? USGS downgraded that to a 3.4. 3.4. They've now downgraded this to a 3.3. Came out as a 6.4. They downgraded to a 3.3. Incredible. I've never seen them do that here. We've had 6.2 earthquakes here before. We've had 5.0 earthquakes here before. Yesterday, I believe we still did have a 6.2 earthquake. But USGS downgraded to a 3.4, now a 3.3 here. It was also, guys, this earthquake was also 10.3 miles deep. 10.3 miles deep, about 19 kilometers deep. Okay, up here in the Arctic Circle. In the Arctic Circle. This area of Alaska where you see the brownish gray area, this is the Arctic Circle here. This was in the Arctic Circle area. Possibly as much as a 6.2 earthquake. And then again, USGS downgraded that earthquake. Unfortunately. Now, why do I keep bringing it up? The reason is this. USGS has been downgrading earthquakes all over the world. They don't want anybody to know how strong these earthquakes are. This area of Alaska is not heavily inhabitable. There are people that are living in this area along the north shore of Alaska. There are oil and gas drilling going on here. Oil and gas drilling all over the shoreline of the North Sea here. All over here. Now, I have not received any communications since this earthquake hit that this earthquake was a 6.2 or larger earthquake. It could have been. Now, with that said, this was felt over a wide area. This earthquake is felt over a wide area. Now, that tells me itself. 3.2, 3.3, 3.4 small earthquakes are not felt over a wide area. Doesn't happen. Small earthquakes are usually felt only in the immediate area. This earthquake was felt all over the area, but yet USGS is not showing any earthquakes here at all, except a 3.3 now. 3.3 earthquake here. I believe it was a much larger earthquake. There are other earthquakes here as well down here to the south, central Alaska here. This is a 1.7 tremor here near Beaver, Alaska. Beaver, Alaska, 1.7 tremor. This earthquake here is a 2.0 earthquake near Evansville, Alaska. Further south here, okay, north of Fairbanks, Alaska here. This near a quarry here. They've been having a lot of earthquakes here, probably because it is a quarry. This is 1.7 tremor here, 7 miles east-northeast of Fox, Alaska. Down here to the south, just west of Fairbanks. This is a 1.1 tremor here, west of Fairbanks, Alaska. Now, there's been another earthquake here, further west. This is a 0.8 microquake, 19 miles southeast of Minto, Alaska. We've had earthquakes near Minto, Alaska here before. Further southwest from Fairbanks here. This is another 0.8 microquake here. This is 6 miles allegedly south-southwest of South Van Horn, Alaska. South Van Horn, Alaska here. Okay? Now, let's go back down here to Denali, Alaska region. Denali, Alaska region. Out here further to the northwest here. This is a 1.7 tremor here. This is 42 miles northeast allegedly from Lake Munchmina, Alaska. Okay? Going down here to Denali, Alaska here. You see earthquakes here. Okay? This is a 2.0 near Healy, Alaska. Healy, Alaska, H-E-A-L-Y. H-E-A-L-Y, Alaska. Right just north of Denali. Now we come down here. Now we are down near Mount McKinley. This earthquake here is a 3.0 earthquake on the western southeastern side of Mount McKinley. This earthquake is also southeast of Mount McKinley. It's a 2.0 earthquake. Up here on the northwest side of McKinley, this is a 2.0 earthquake. This is a 1.8 tremor. This is a 1.8 tremor here. And this is another 1.9 tremor. Now, guys, all these earthquakes here are listed for the first time in Denali, Alaska. In Denali, Alaska. Usually they put them north of St. Petersburg, Alaska, north of anywhere. These earthquakes are in Denali, Alaska, except for this one, the 3.0. They have this as 41 miles northeast of Petersville, Alaska. It's not northeast of Petersville, not at all. This is in Denali, Alaska. Petersville, Alaska is further to the southeast. It's not northeast of anywhere, but in Denali, Alaska. USGS still puts earthquakes other than what they're at. Again, they don't, for whatever reason, they don't want to admit there are earthquakes here in Denali, Alaska, Denali National Park. They don't want to admit to it. Usually they don't want to admit to the volcanoes. They don't want to give any indication there's any earthquakes near any volcanoes. That might be the case at Denali, Alaska here. Down here to the southeast here, they say this is a 2.5 minor earthquake, 12 miles west-southwest of Petersville. It's not. This is southeast of Denali, Alaska. Incredible how they keep wanting to talk about Pires Real Alaska here. Now, let's go over here. Okay? This is a 2.9. 14 miles east of Suseton, Alaska. That's fine. Further to the south here, this is a 2.8. 10 miles north of Fishhook, Alaska here. Fishhook, Alaska. Then we come further to the southeast here. 1.2 near Chickaloo, Alaska here. That's all fine and good. We go further to the southeast. This is a 2.6 minor earthquake near Glacier View, Alaska. Interesting. Then we come down here further to the southeast here. Right here. This is a 1.0 tremor here. 29 miles east-southeast of Nick River, Alaska. Nick River, Alaska. Then we come over here to west of Anchorage, Alaska here. This is a 2.5 earthquake here, west of Anchorage, Alaska. 25 miles northeast of Whittier, Alaska here. Notice here, we have no earthquakes anywhere near Anchorage, not at all. We go west across the Cook Inlet here. Go out here to the west, we have a 2.8 earthquake here, 7 miles southwest of Suseton, Alaska. Okay? Then the nearest earthquakes we have here are further out here to the southwest, over near Mount Redoubt. This is a 1.9, 2.0 earthquake on the east side of Mount Redoubt. Then we come over here to the west. This is a 1.2 tremor here. Okay, near Mount Redoubt. Down here to the south. This is a minus number. But they should be making a minus number. This is actually 3.2 miles deep. Minus numbers indicate above sea level. This is a 0.3 microquake. 0.3 microquake. 2.3 miles deep. Okay? This they have as 0.6. This is 5.1 miles deep here. 0.6 microquake. South of Mount Redoubt. Further to the south here, 2.0 earthquake. 2.0 minor earthquake. 41 miles west of Tyanek, Alaska. Interesting. Then we go back to the southeast here. This is a 1.6 tremor here. 22 miles west of Tyanek, Alaska. Interesting. This is 22 miles west of Tyanek. This is 41 miles west of Tyanek. Interesting. Then we come out here into the Cook Inlet here. This is a 1.6 tremor. 16 miles southwest of Tyanek, Alaska. Interesting. Okay. We come down here, further down here to the south here, in the Cook Inlet here. This is the 1.7 tremor here. Okay. Down here, we have a 1.5 tremor here near Ninilchik, Alaska. This is 1.2 tremor. 20 miles northwest of Ninilchik, Alaska. Come out here to the east, okay? This is near Clam Gulch, Alaska. It's a 2.0 earthquake. Over here in the lake. Over here in the lake. Go figure. In the lake. A 2.2 earthquake here. This is a 2.2 or 2.0. This is a 2.0 here. And this is a 2.0 here. 3 2.0s. 3 2.0s out of 1.9 2.0 here. Then we come down here also in the Cook Inlet here. 1.5 tremor here. 1.2 tremor. Come further south here. 2.1. Further south here, 1.5 tremor here. 2.3 earthquake here. Interesting. 0.4 microquake. East-northeast of Pedro Bay. How can it be east-northeast of Pedro Bay? It's west-northwest of Pedro Bay. West-northwest of Pedro Bay. Again, USGS has got their directions wrong. This is a 0.5 microquake here. 39 miles east of Pedro Bay. Half mile deep. Half mile deep. This is a 2.1 east-northeast of Pedro Bay. It's west-northwest of Pedro Bay here. 2.1 earthquake. 1.4 tremor here. West-northwest of Pedro Bay. This is a 2.4 earthquake here. Northwest of Pedro Bay here. 2.4 earthquake here. We'll come down here to Pedro Bay. 2.3 earthquake here. Down here in the Cook Inlet. 2.8 minor earthquake here. 2.1 earthquake here. This is near Anchor Point, Alaska. 1.8 tremor here. Near Nanuwek, Alaska. This earthquake is a 2.8 earthquake here. A 2.1 earthquake here. Then we come down to another volcano here. Another volcano here. A 2.0 earthquake here. 2.0 earthquake here at a volcano. 2.0, 2.1, 0.3 at a volcano, of course. Then we drop down here to Old Iliamna volcano here. You see earthquakes here. North of Old Iliamna here, we have a 1.4 tremor here. Then again, USGS tries to not put it at a volcano. They're locating this as 55 miles north of Karluk, Alaska. Interesting. It's northwest of Old Iliamna volcano here. Over here, just southeast of Old Iliamna volcano, 1.4 tremor. Then over here at the volcano here, at the volcano, this is the 1.1 tremor here. Old Iliamna volcano is alive and well. Alive and well. Southeast of Old Iliamna here, this is a 1.8 tremor here. Over here to the southwest is 0.91.0 tremor here. Down here on the spine of the volcano right here. This is a 1.0 tremor here. Why do I call it the spine of the volcano? Simply this. Look where these vents have been. Old Ililama volcano is vented from these locations here. Vented from these locations. We've seen vents over in the Canary Islands near the volcano there. Okay, this is a spine of old Ililama volcano here. Okay, south again here. This is a 1.0 tremor here. Okay. Then we drop further to the south here. We have 2.1 earthquake here near Ugashik, Alaska. Ugashik, Alaska. What do we have right here? Another volcano. Another volcano right there. So here to the north, we have this earthquake at 2.1 minor earthquake. This is a 2.3 earthquake here. And this is another 2.0. Earthquakes happen here in Alaska. That's pretty much normal. Over here on Kodiak, Alaska, Kodiak Island. Just west of Kodiak here is central Kodiak Island. This is a 2.0 earthquake here. This is a 2.2 earthquake here. Down here at southwest Kodiak Island, this is a 2.1. Just south of tip of Kodiak Island here, this is also 2.1 earthquake here. Lately, we've had a lot of minor earthquakes here around Kodiak Island. Now let's go out here. Again, this is out in the Cook Strait in the North Pacific Ocean. This is a 2.4 earthquake here. Right here. This is a 2.1 earthquake here. This earthquake is 57 miles east of Chignac, Alaska. This is a 2.4, is 79 miles southeast of Chignac, Alaska. Interesting. Then we come down here to the south. Now we are south of Sandpoint, Alaska. Down here we've had 7.2 magnitude earthquake, major earthquake. We had a 7.8 earthquake and an 8.7 earthquake here. Yeah, just several years ago. Here we have a 2.4 earthquake here. Southeast of Sandpoint, Alaska. 2.4. This is a 2.5. 2.5 earthquake here. Southwest of here. This is a 2.0 south of King Cove, Alaska. Going further south here on the Aleutian Island Fault. 2.2 earthquake here near Falls Pass, Alaska. South-southeast of Falls Pass, Alaska. 2.2 there. This is a 3.0. 3.0 earthquake here. Going up here just barely to the west is a 2.9 earthquake here. 88 miles southeast of Falls Pass, Alaska. Go down further here to the west. 2.3 near Akutan, Alaska. This is a 2.4. These are not near any islands. Nobody felt these earthquakes, and these are also minor earthquakes. Nobody can feel a minor earthquake like this. Nobody. Further down here to the west, this is a 3.3 south of Unalaska here. Southeast of Unalaska here. This is a 2.4. Further here to the south, this is also 2.5. Now, why am I getting into this? Why am I getting into this? What do we have right here? She's Halden volcanoes here. She's Halden volcanoes there. To the west here, 2.5 earthquake here. 44 miles west-southwest of Boone, Alaska, near She's Halden volcano. Okay? These earthquakes out in the ocean had no influence on anything except seismic movement. Seismic movement here. Further to the south, this is a 2.6, 53 miles southwest of Nikolsky, Alaska. Interesting. Then the next earthquake we have is right here. This is a 3.6 here. 161 miles west-southwest of Adak, Alaska. Out here in the Louisiana Fault Zone. Great big huge oceanic ridge here, a fault zone. Fault zone, guys. Then we go out here in the Aleutian Islands. We've had earthquakes here before. These earthquakes here are aftershocks of a huge 6.6 earthquake that hit the same region several weeks ago. This is a 4.3 earthquake here. This is a 4.3 earthquake here. These earthquakes are southeast of Attu Station, Alaska. This is Attu Station, Alaska right here. Attu Station, Alaska. Now, we talked about this last week or 2 weeks ago when it first happened. We have an old Coast Guard station here. There also used to be a small Air Force base and Army base here. Now we've only had a Coast Guard station remain open here. They closed this Coast Guard station back in 2022. Nobody lives here. Nobody lives here. But over here in West Attu Station here, U.S. Army forces fought the Russians here on Attu Station during World War II. There are abandoned tanks here. There are abandoned trucks here. There are abandoned fuel stations here on Attu Station, dating back to World War II here when we fought the Russians here on U.S. soil. Incredible. And now all we are having here are earthquakes here, far east of Attu Station. 4.3 earthquakes here. 4.3 earthquakes here, aftershocks of a 6.6 earthquake here from several weeks ago. Unreal, guys. Unreal. Now, there are earthquakes here in Japan. There are earthquakes here in Japan. USGS is not showing any earthquakes, so I'm going to go to my device here. I want to show you earthquakes here. Just bear with me for just a second here. There are earthquakes here. Just south of Tokyo. Iwaki, Fukushima, Japan. Iwaki, Fukushima, Japan. Let me bring up a webcam here. I want to show you this. North of Fukushima, or I should say north of Tokyo here. North of Tokyo. This is a 3.6 earthquake here. This is just offshore. Actually, just on, they had it offshore earlier today. This is onshore, guys. Onshore, near Fukushima, Japan here. Came out offshore, now it's onshore here near Fukushima, Japan. Okay? Over here in Japan, southern Japan. Okay, Kunamoto, Japan. This is the 1.6 tremor here. Then south of there, in the Ryukyu Islands here. The island just south of southern Japan here, the Ryukyu Islands here. This is a 4.6 earthquake here. USGS is showing this earthquake here for whatever reason, but they're not showing that other earthquake here near Kunamoto, Japan here, being a 1.6 tremor here. Okay. Then, still in the Ryukyu Islands here, the southern Ryukyu Islands, this is northeast of Taiwan. These islands still belong to Japan here. Okay. This is a 4.7 earthquake here. 4.7 earthquake here. Okay. Guess I'll go ahead and highlight that. That's a 4.6 earthquake here. This is near what they call Miyakojima, Japan. Miyakojima, Japan. 40 miles south of Miyakojima, Japan. Well, Miyakojima is a tiny island here in the Ryukyu Islands here, right there. Miyakojima, Japan, right there. Looks like it's a pretty inhabited island here. But that moderate earthquake is offshore, didn't do anything. The ocean waters here absorb the shockwaves of this quake. Okay? Then we go south. Central Philippines this time. Central Philippines right here. Interesting how this happens. Right here. This is a 3.2 earthquake here. 3.2 earthquake here in Central Philippines. Then southeast of the largest island in the Philippines called Mindanao, Philippines here. Just southeast of Mindanao, Philippines here. 3.3 earthquake here. Not done. South of there, another 3.5. Interesting. Just barely south of there, 3.2 earthquake there. Now the rest of these earthquakes belong to Indonesia. The rest of these earthquakes all belong to Indonesia here. They all belong to Indonesia here. There are 44 earthquakes here in Indonesia today. 44 earthquakes. And USGS is not showing but one. One earthquake here, right there. This is a 3.6 near Tobelo, Indonesia. Tobelo, Indonesia. Why are they not showing all the other earthquakes here? Inquiring minds want to know. Now, guys, we've talked about this a lot before. Lots and lots. Guys, this whole area, this entire area here, going over here to Tonga, Samoa region, down here into Fiji, all the way down here into New Zealand, over here in the Legacy Islands, New Caledonia, and even over here in the Vanuatu area, right there. Where today in this near East Anglo Vanuatu, we have a 4.5 earthquake here. All this area here is one of the largest subduction areas in the world. 7 different tectonic plates are here. 7 different tectonic plates are here. What's going on here? One tectonic plate is subducting under the other, just like this, going up underneath the other plate, just like this. That's why we have so many earthquakes here. And USGS doesn't want to show the earthquakes. Doesn't want to show the earthquakes. There are earthquakes there. South of Australia here. Large earthquake here in the Indian Ocean. This is a large 5.2 earthquake here. What USGS is not showing you, over in Australia, there's a 2.82 earthquake here. Southwestern Australia. 2.82 minor earthquake here in southwestern Australia. We've had many minor earthquakes in this area before. USGS is still not showing any earthquakes here. Interesting, because the European agency is showing them earthquakes here. 2.0 on up to 4.5 earthquakes here in Indonesia today. USGS shows one earthquake in Indonesia. Now, I want to go down here into the Tonga-Fiji region. Actually, the Tonga, not Fiji, but Tonga-Samoa region. Yesterday, there was a huge earthquake here. I have information for you. Stand by just a second here. Got a lot of information for you. Yesterday, there was a good-sized earthquake here. Good-sized earthquake. A 6.2 earthquake here in the Tonga-Fiji region, actually the Tonga-Samoa region here. The Tonga-Samoa region. 6.2 earthquake here. What do we have here today? That was a big earthquake here. Guys, nobody felt this earthquake. This was at least 152 miles northeast of Hiiufu, Tonga. Northeast of Hiiufu, Tonga. 6.2, very strong earthquake. What is USGS showing us today? Let's bring up the USGS map again. Right here. Let's go down here and show you what's going on here in the Tonga-Samoa region here. Aftershocks here. This is a 5.8 aftershock. 5.8 aftershock here. That's pretty big. This is here a 5.9. Nearly a 6.0 very strong earthquake. This is a 4.9, 5.0. Large aftershocks here. Very large aftershocks, guys. This is a large 5.0. This is a 5.9, 6.0. Very large earthquake, possibly even a very strong earthquake here. 6.0 and larger, very strong earthquakes. This is a 5.8 earthquake here. Okay, now, what's wrong with this situation? USGS wants to only show large earthquakes. Why are they not still showing this earthquake here? Why are they not showing it here? This earthquake happened at 7:18 p.m. last night. 7.8 earthquake, or I'm sorry, 7:18 p.m. last night. 6.2 earthquake. They should be still showing it. They should still be showing it here. Unreal, huh? It really is. Down here further to the south, in the Kermadec Islands here. In the Kermadec Islands here. Another 5.0 earthquake here. 5.0 earthquake here. Then we go down here into New Zealand. New Zealand guys. They're not showing one earthquake here in New Zealand. Not one earthquake. There is one earthquake over here on the southeastern side of the South Island. This is a 2.68 earthquake. 2.68, 2.7 earthquake there. Going north on the South Island. This is also on the Tonga Trench. Notice where this earthquake is. I'm going to zoom in here on the USGS map so you can see it. I'll show you it on the USGS map right there. Right there. Near Rotherham, New Zealand. This is a 2.5 earthquake. That earthquake fault right there comes down out of Tonga. It's called the Tonga Trench. 2.5 earthquake here. Then we go east of there. Two more earthquakes. Two more earthquakes here. USGS not showing any of them. Nothing. This is a 2.7 earthquake there. 2.7 minor earthquake near Howard, New Zealand. And north of there, northwest of there. This is a 2.39. USGS not showing any of these earthquakes. Then in the Cook Strait here, the body of water between both islands here. The body of water between the two islands here, the Cook Strait. USGS not showing anything. Here's a 2.1 earthquake here. And right next to it, a 2.6 minor earthquakes. Over here to the northeast, also in the Cook Strait, this is a 2.38 earthquake. Then I want to go over here to the northwest, over here just east of the volcano here, near Hawera, Hawera, New Zealand. 2.74 earthquake. 2.74 earthquake here. Another one here, just northeast of the volcano here. Aveyah, New Zealand here. This is a 3.5 small earthquake. 3.5 small earthquake here. USGS doesn't want to talk about it, do they? Heavens no. Then south of one of New Zealand's biggest volcanoes here. One of New Zealand's biggest volcanoes here. This is a 2.4 earthquake here. Raohu volcano here. Raohu volcano, there's a small minor earthquake south of there. Again, USGS doesn't want to show it there. Raohu volcano is right there. Raohu volcano erupted about 5 years ago. It's gone silent since then. Doesn't mean it's not active, it is. Just has not erupted since then. I want to give everybody an education here to those of you that haven't been here on the program before. Those of you that have been here, guess what? You already know this. See this lake here, Topo Lake? It's actually a super volcano here. A super volcano. USGS doesn't have an earthquake here, but there are earthquakes here. This is a 2.68 earthquake here. A 2.6 earthquake here on the south side of the volcano. The south end of the volcano here near the summit. Near the summit of the volcano here. USGS didn't want to show that. Why not? Now, what USGS didn't want to show us doesn't matter to us, does it? Yes, it does. This is a super volcano here with an earthquake here near the summit of the volcano. To the northwest of that, northwest flank of the volcano. This is a 2.76 earthquake. 2.76 minor earthquake here on the north flank of the northeast flank of the volcano. On the northwest flank, 2 earthquakes. A 2.46, and just to the northeast, a 2.86 earthquake there. This is just north of the volcano here. Then some more earthquakes here. This is another 2.86 minor earthquake here. And one more here. This is a 2.98 3.0 earthquake here. USGS not showing any earthquakes here at all. None. None at all. Now, I want to show you something. We have an island here, don't we? Morganton Island. Just south of that island here. Here we have a 2.66 earthquake. 2.66 earthquake right there. New Zealand has earthquakes. New Zealand has earthquakes. We've been monitoring Tupelo volcano for a long time. This is in the Bay of Plenty, as you can see. It's frequently referred to as a catcher's mitt, like it looks like here. Looks like a great big baseball catcher's mitt. We have a lot of earthquakes here, lots of earthquakes. I'm zooming here to show you another island here. White volcano here. White volcano right here. This volcano erupted 4 years ago. 4 years ago, we covered it here on this channel. What was here? Nothing. Nobody lives here. But this volcano has been dormant for a long time. Dormant, not inactive, dormant. There was a cruise ship off of the island to the north. One of their excursion vessels took tourists from the cruise ship over to White Island to explore the volcano. Unfortunately, that day, the volcano erupted. They should never have been there. The cruise ship should have been alerted that that volcano was active, had been steaming, and the earthquakes were shaking that volcano. While those tourists were here at White Island, two people died. Others were injured here, taken to Australian and New Zealand hospitals. Then they were released and went home. White Island volcano is still active. Yes, we do have earthquakes occasionally in this area, in, on, and around White Island. I want to make you aware of that because we have had earthquakes there. Up in the center north of the Bay of Plenty here. Up in the center north of the Bay of Plenty. USGS not showing earthquakes here. There's a 2.2 minor earthquake right there. 2.2 minor earthquake. What is there? What's around it, guys? USGS not showing much of anything. But if you look closely on the European map, there are undersea volcanoes here. Undersea volcanoes. There are craters here as well. What's actually going on? Magma's trying to erupt here. Okay, I believe magma's trying to erupt. For example, Look at that volcano right there. Just west of that earthquake. Just west of that earthquake. Then if you zoom in closer, look at that. That earthquake is right next to the volcano right there. Right next to an undersea volcano. As I said, there is activity here. Undersea volcanoes all over the place. USGS doesn't want to talk about it. Doesn't want to talk about it. North of the Bay of Plenty here. Here's another 2.86 earthquake. This is on the Fiji Fault. Huge Fijian trench here. You see 4 other earthquakes here. 3 on the east and 1 on the north, or one on the west here. On the east side, south to north. This is a 3.44 earthquake there. To the northwest, this is a 2.96 3.0 earthquake. One more north of there. This is a 2.89 earthquake here. And over on the west side of the Fijian Trench, this is a 3.7 earthquake here. Interesting, huh? And yet USGS says there's nothing going on. Nothing going on at all. Okay? I've shown you more information than the USGS ever has here. Why? Again, this is the largest subduction area in the world. 7 different tectonic plates are active in this region. 7 different tectonic plates are active in this region. I believe everybody needs to know about it. One more earthquake here in this region. This is over near India, on the west side of Myanmar. West side of Myanmar, guys. This is a 4.2 earthquake here. 4.2 earthquake here. Hurricane Heather says, hey fam, did y'all know that when Nepal had that big earthquake, Mount Everest also experienced some extreme damage? Yes, it did. I forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me, Heather. Good to go. It actually lifted up and down. Yes, that is really cool information. Thank you, Heather. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Nepal is right over here. Right there. Seismic energy comes out of Indonesia, runs up here through this fault line, right up this fault line, in the Myanmar-Burma area, up here into India, comes right up here, goes into the Himalaya Mountains here. Then you see the edge of the plate here. This is a tectonic plate here. The edge of the plate here runs through the Himalaya Mountains. All throughout this area, guys. All throughout this area. That's one of the reasons we have earthquakes here in Afghanistan, Pakistan, Tajikistan. All kinds of earthquakes in this area. Yet USGS continues not showing them. They're still not showing them here. Let me show you something else here that they're not showing us today. Here is a 2.4 earthquake here. Banahal, Kashmir area. Banahal, Kashmir area. Here's a 2.4 earthquake right there. 2.4 earthquake right there. Another one here, Tajikistan. Tajikistan, there's a 2.4 earthquake right there. USGS not showing it. Why not? They show 4.0 plus earthquakes here before. Why are they not showing them here? Inquiring minds want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. Insane. Insane guys. They don't want to talk about it. They plain don't want to talk about it. Now, there's a lot more than that. See this area here between Turkey-Syria border region here? Guess what? Look at all the earthquakes here. 39 earthquakes here in the Turkey-Syria border region. 39 earthquakes. Yes, a lot of those are tremors. 1.0, 1.9 tremors. There are 2.0, 2.9 earthquakes and 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes in this region right here. Same region. Why are we having earthquakes? The simple reason is this. Back in 2023, guys, we had a 9.0, 10.0 earthquake here. 9.0, 10.0 earthquake here. It unalived over 5,000 people. And over 5,000 people were injured here. It also left us a huge trench here. Huge fissure opened up here in the ground. Huge fissure, big enough to hold an 8-story building in the fissure. 14 miles long here. 14 miles long. We're still having aftershocks today. USGS doesn't say a word about it. Not one word about it. Then, up here in northwestern Turkey, here, almost 50 earthquakes here in northwestern Turkey. 2 weeks ago, we had 100 earthquakes here. 2 weeks ago. We also had a 5.1 earthquake here as well. They're not showing any earthquakes at all. Earthquakes all over the coastline area as well. All over western Turkey here. USGS not showing one of them. Unfortunately, down here in the Aegean Sea here, we have some earthquakes. I want to show those earthquakes to you. Northwest of Santorini here. Northwest of Santorini right here. Okay? They had a 4.5 earthquake here last year. They thought the volcano here was going to erupt. The volcano was over here. The center of the volcano is over here in this huge port area. They have a volcano here. It didn't erupt. Santorini here, guys. We have a 1.9 tremor here today, just northwest of Santorini. South of Santorini, we have 2 more earthquakes here. The islands here in the Aegean Sea here belong to Greece. They're called the Dokanese Islands here. This earthquake is a 2.2 minor earthquake here, south of Santorini here. West of Santorini here, there's a 2.4 earthquake there. USGS not showing any of it. None of it. They want to think of it as not there at all. At all. Southwest of Crete here. Southwest of Crete. Here's a 3.2 earthquake here. Remember that fault that was causing all the ruckus back in 2023 that caused a 9.0, 10.0 earthquake over in the Turkey-Syria border region? It's called the Antonian Fault. This earthquake here, southwest of Crete, is the Antonian Fault. This is a 3.2 earthquake here. 3.2 earthquake here. West of Crete, this is a 2.5 earthquake here. Let me show you this fault line here. Okay. Comes over here, it runs south of Crete, Greece here, goes up here south of Turkey, runs south of Cyprus Island here. Then it makes a northern turn up here into Syria-Turkey border region. But right here, we had a 9.0, 10.0 earthquake here, February 3rd, 2023. Just over 2 years ago. The same fault runs all the way down here through the Eastern Mediterranean Sea, south of Crete, Greece, goes up here and runs south and east and west of Greece here, mainland Greece. USGS is still not showing the earthquakes here. 42 earthquakes here in Greece. 42 earthquakes here. A great majority of them are tremors. Minor tremors, 1.0, 1.9, and minor earthquakes, 2.0 to 2.7 here. All over Greece. All over Greece. Yes, they do have some 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes here as well. But most of these are just 1.8. For example, this earthquake here near Pires, Greece. 6 miles northwest of Pires, Greece. This is a 1.6 tremor here. Okay. All kinds of earthquakes all over this area. Okay. Over here on the islands west of Greece here. For example, this is a 3.0 earthquake here. Let me zoom in here on the USGS map here. I want you to become familiar with this because this is where we have earthquakes all over the place. Yet USGS doesn't want to tell us about it. That is a 3.0 earthquake right there. Just north of there is a 1.0, 1.10, Arkastoli, Greece. South of Arkastoli here is another 1.5. Southwest of there is another 1.4. Tremors here. Tremors here right next to a 3.0 earthquake there. Okay? I proved my point. Proved my point here. Leaving Greece to the north. Vincan, Albania. 2.1 earthquake here in Albania here. Now, in Sicily here. Let's go over here to Sicily here. Yesterday here, just north of Sicily here, in the ocean here. We had a 5.2 earthquake here yesterday. They're not showing any activity at all, but the European map is. Here's a 1.20 earthquake, tremor. Tremor. Just northeast of there, this is 1.4. Also on the same fault line coming out of Crete, this is a 2.1 minor earthquake here, aftershocks. Aftershocks is that large earthquake they hit here yesterday. Okay? Over here in the toe of the boot in Italy, Calabria, Italy, 1.32 tremor, 1.32 tremor. North there, Basilica, Italy, 1.6 tremor here. Look at that. Still not showing the earthquakes. Then starting to go up the boot of the country of Italy. Pignola Basilicata, Italy, is 0.7 tremor here. Actually, microquake, I'm sorry, microquake. 0.7 microquake here. Okay, now. What do we have going on here in Italy, guys? What do you have going on here in Italy? This volcano here, Vesuvius volcano, is still rocking here. The USGS and the European map aren't showing any earthquakes at all. They are having tremors and microquakes here around the volcano. USGS and European agencies not showing any earthquakes in this region at all. Nothing. Okay. USGS not showing any earthquakes here in Italy at all, period. Nothing. North Central Italy, different story. Totally different story. 27 earthquakes here in North Central Italy. 27 earthquakes. Most of these are tremors and minor earthquakes. 1.8, 1.9, 1.7 tremors, 2.0, 2.2, 2.5, 2.7 minor earthquakes here. All over Italy. USGS not talking about it. Heaven forbid. Heaven forbid. Not talking about it. Over along the coastline, there's a 2.1 earthquake right there. Going up to the north central Italy here. Veneto, Italy. There's a 2.1. Up into the Italian Alps. Northeast of Milan. Northeast of Milano here. They call it Milano. Okay? 0.8. 0.8, 1.8, and 1.3 tremors here in the Italian Alps. Okay? Over in the Piedmont, the southwestern Alps Piedmont of Italy, this is the 1.6 tremor here. Then we go north. France, Narbonne, France, 2.2 earthquake here. Go south here. USGS shows nothing going on here. 3.0 small earthquake there. 3.0. Further south here is a 2.3. To the north, 5 more earthquakes. 2.0. West there, 2.2. West there, a 2.0. USGS doesn't want to show earthquakes. Northwest there. Colognes, the Rolstals, France. I know I butchered that name. 2.2 earthquake right there. Then we go up here to the northwest here. Bretagne, France. 2.3 earthquake here. Interesting. Very interesting. Then we go up here in England. Buddy Demon Catman lives on the north side of England, northeast side of England. Over here on the southwest, actually south center part of England here, right here. This in Tewkesbury, Herefordshire, England. The 0.7 microquake here. The 0.7 microquake here. We don't see too many earthquakes here in Britain at all. Usually none. I believe this is the second time we've ever had an earthquake here. We've shown here on the program here in England. Second time in the last 7 years. Interesting, huh? I think it is. Very interesting. Now for kicks and giggles. My kicks and giggles. I want to go over here to Norway and Sweden. My home country of Norway and Sweden. I shouldn't call it my home country. I only spent 2.5 years there, but my ancestors come from Sweden. Down here in southern Norway, Telemark, Norway. We have a 1.2 tremor right there. Over in Sweden, Dalarna County, where they make dolls, wooden dolls here in Dalarna County. Dalarna County right there. This is a 1.0 tremor here. Just south of that 1.0, this is Vestmanland County. This is a 1.5 tremor right there. I used to live there. See where Västerås is right there? It's pronounced Västerås here. Västerås here. I just lost it here. Västerås right there. I used to live there as well. Beautiful town. Very beautiful town, guys. Beautiful, beautiful town. Lake Vänersborg is right there. Or not Vänersborg. Lake Västerås is right there. Great place. Great place. I used to live on the main drag through Västerås here. It's called Rådmansgatan. Rådmansgatan, Västerås here. Main drag through. Actually, they named it Storegatan here. Storegatan. I used to live there. Unreal. Love it. Love it. One of my best buddies used to live in Uppsala here. Uppsala, north of Stockholm. I used to live over here near Stockholm, south of Stockholm as well. Okay? I used to live in Södertälje here. Södertälje. Before I lived in Södertälje, no, I didn't live down there. I used to live in a place called Hudina. Hudina. Huddigena. Hudina, Sweden. Hudina, Sweden was on the light rail route going to and out of Stockholm. Used to live in Hudinge. You see Eskilstuna here? See Eskilstuna here? I used to also live there. Eskilstuna is where one of my dad's uncles used to live in. Eskilstuna, Sweden. Have all kinds of stories about Eskilstuna. All kinds of cool stories about Eskilstuna. Been all over this area here. Just outside Eskilstuna here to the southwest. This is a pretty much forested area. They have old rune stones here. Viking rune stones out here just outside Eskilstuna here. Viking rune stones with writing on them. Really cool place. Very cool place here. Good old Eskilstuna here. Pretty cool place. Pretty cool place. They have earthquakes here in Sweden now too. They've had earthquakes here north of Stockholm. They have earthquakes up here in Norrland as well. This area here, where'd it go here? See this town here? It's called Aveyah. Aveyah. You wouldn't be able to say that in English because the G is not pronounced. It's called Aveyah here. Now, the name Aveyah is called the devil. The name Aveyah is the devil. Aveyah is not a devilish town. It's a very pretty town. People live here all over this area. Okay? I want to go up further here to the north here. I want to go over here to a town called Umeå if I can find it. Well, that's too far south here. Oh, I'm too far south still. There's Umeå. This is as far north as I've ever lived in Sweden. They call this Norrland. Northland, Sweden. See this river here? This river is a great place. They used to have fishermen here in Umeå. They used to fish off these bridges here. This is the main highway going through Umeå here. Right here. This is the high school here in Umeå. I taught English, history, and world religions here at this high school in Umeå. Great place. Had all kinds of fun here in Umeå. Wonderful town. Now this is just south of a town called Kiruna. Up here at Kiruna, let me see if I can go up here. That's Skellefteå there. Actually, I have been in Skellefteå. I didn't live there. I have been in Skellefteå here. Up here. Way up here to the north. You see Mala here. Liksala here. Up here, there's a town called Kiruna. I'm not sure if I can find it yet. So far, I haven't found it. Kiruna is the northernmost town here in Sweden that is just south of Russia. Just south of Russia here. Now, guys, here in Kiruna, there it is. See it right there. The train drops you off in Kiruna here. On the north side of Kiruna is Russia. Now, we were not allowed to take any pictures up here north of Kiruna after the train dropped us off. Why? Because it's Russian territory. Here. If you take any pictures, Russia can kidnap you and take you. You never get back to the United States or anywhere else. The Russian border guards here don't like their pictures taken. Yeah. Craziness here. Okay? Now, I want to show you that because we had some earthquakes here in Sweden there today. Down here south of Iceland, we've had some earthquakes. South of Iceland here. Okay? Right here. They have this is west of Grindavik. Guess what? This is not west of Grindavik at all. I have not been in Grindavik, but we had a bunch of earthquakes here, and we had a volcanic eruption just west of Grindavik here. This is Grindavik right there. Just northwest of Grindavik, we had 2 volcanic eruptions. 2 fissures open up here. Spilled lava all over the landscape here. All over the landscape here. After that, fissures opened up further to the north here. Right over here. Right over here. Guys, guess what they had here? Can anybody tell me what is over here? The spa. The great big huge spa. Guess what else is here? There's a power plant here, guys. There's a power plant here. Right here. Here's a spa right there. This power plant here, guys. This power plant, called the Svartsengi Power Plant, is the largest power plant here in Iceland. Just about a year ago, the Icelandic people had to build a huge hill here, huge mountain, huge wall here, huge wall around the Svartsengi Power Plant, and also out here to the west, around the spa. Why? Because out here, volcanic eruption out here, great big huge fissure eruption out here, throwing lava all over the landscape here. They built a huge wall here to keep the lava out of the Svartsengi Power Plant. For a time, they put the Svartsengi Power Plant on auto. They remotely operated the Svartsengi Power Plant. They had to, because the Svartsengi Power Plant is geothermal. They take steam from the volcano. They take hot water from the volcano and pump it literally around Iceland to power Iceland's people, to provide power to all of Iceland, and to provide hot water all over Iceland. If they had not put out that huge wall, Svartsengi Power Plant could have been destroyed. But there's something else you need to know about Svartsengi. Underneath Svartsengi, there is a huge magma reservoir here. Huge magma reservoir here. Now at this time, this magma reservoir has expanded to twice what it was during the largest expansion over a year ago. This magma reservoir now has more magma inside it than it ever has. And at the same time, this area of the power plant has risen up towards 1.5 feet higher than it was. That's because the reservoir here underneath the power plant has pushed the land upwards. Pushed the land upwards here. Now, what the Icelandic people fear is that if this reservoir doesn't empty out, if this reservoir doesn't open up soon, meaning another fissure eruption up here to the north here or anywhere else, if this magma reservoir were to pop, it would destroy the Svartsengi Power Plant. Hopefully it won't happen. Hopefully it won't happen. But this earthquake further to the south is not west of Grindavik. It's west of Iceland here, west of southern Iceland. Again, this is a 4.1 moderate earthquake here. 4.1 moderate earthquake, but it's not the only earthquake here. Again, because the USGS doesn't want to show these earthquakes for whatever reason. I think USGS is out of its mind. I think they're out of their minds here, guys. I really do. Now, guys, there is a lot more going on here. Look what's really going on here in Iceland. Over 100 earthquakes south of Iceland here. Over 100 earthquakes south of Iceland. Okay? Over here. Right here. This is a volcano. This is a volcano. The last time this volcano erupted, guess what happened? When this volcano last erupted, they had to close down all flights of any airport in Europe. They had to close down all the airports throughout Europe because this volcano erupted and spewed ash into the atmosphere here. Airplanes, jetliners don't like ash. If jetliners were to inhale the ash, the plane would go down. Yes, we have an earthquake here at the volcano. This is a 2.3 earthquake here. North of that earthquake here is another one. This is a 2.4 earthquake there. That's right there. 2.4 earthquake just north of that volcano. Over to the south of there. Vatnajökull, 4 miles south-southwest of Vatnajökull. There's a 2.3 earthquake there. On what? What is that earthquake on? What are all these earthquakes around? The Mid-Atlantic Fault. The Mid-Atlantic Fault here, guys. North of that is a 2.6. 2.6 minor earthquake. Down here to the south, Selfoss, Iceland, 2.2. 2.2 minor earthquake. We have a problem here. We have a problem. What else is going on? You guys can see Reykjavik here, can't you? The capital of Iceland. Capital of Iceland. Guess what? 2.0 minor earthquake. North there, 2.5. So that first one, a 2.2. All kinds of earthquakes north there. Look at this. I'm going to just show you this. This is a 2.4. Then let's go north. Okay? 2.4, 2.1, 2.1, 2.0, 2.6, and 2.0 right there. All kinds of earthquakes here, all right? All kinds of earthquakes. Look at this. All kinds of earthquakes, you guys. There are over 100 earthquakes right here. Over 100 earthquakes, and USGS shows 2. They're showing 2 earthquakes. This 4.1 here, and this 4.2 here. Both of them they are saying are west of Greenvik. They're not. They're not. They are south of Iceland here. South of Iceland. But the problem is, there are over 100 earthquakes right here. Over 100 earthquakes. Yet USGS still doesn't want to show those earthquakes. Why not? Why don't they want to show these earthquakes? Okay. 3.2, 2.6, 2.9, 3.0, 2.7, 2.1, 4.0 here. Why are they not showing that earthquake there? They're not. They're not. 2.2, 2.0, 2.5. Let's open a couple of these others. We have 220 plus and 210 plus here. Let's open a couple of these. I'm not going to show you all the earthquakes. Well, I'm going to show you all the earthquakes, but I'm not going to say what all these earthquakes are. Look at that. All around the Mid-Atlantic Fault. All these earthquakes are all around the Mid-Atlantic Fault. What have I said that's happening out there? What have I said is happening over at the Mid-Atlantic Fault? It's expanding like this. It's expanding. It's pushing Greenland and Canada and the United States and northern Mexico in a southwesterly direction. Well, at the same time, it's pushing Africa and Europe in the easterly direction. What's it doing here? At some point in time, it's going to separate Iceland into two different islands. At some point in time, the Mid-Atlantic Fault is going to separate Iceland in two different islands here. Yeah. Now, in the 7 years I've been doing this program, in 7 years I've been doing this program, I have never seen this many earthquakes in this region. Never. Never. Yes, we've had 7, we've had 10 earthquakes in this region, but never over 100 like we have here. Just poking around here. This is a 2.0 here. 2.0 minor earthquake here. Further to the south, 2.9, 3.0 earthquake there. Further to the south here, 2.1 minor earthquake. 2.5. Over here, just west of the Mid-Atlantic Fault. This is a 2.7 minor earthquake there. On the fault. On the Mid-Atlantic Fault. This is a 2.1 earthquake there. On going south here, on the fault. 2.6, 2.4, and 2.5 right there. All of these are basically the same size earthquake. All these earthquakes here are basically the same size earthquake. What is that telling you? The Mid-Atlantic Fault is expanding. The Mid-Atlantic Fault is expanding. It's pushing west here. The Mid-Atlantic Fault is pushing west here. All these earthquakes didn't come out of anywhere, but they came out of the Mid-Atlantic Fault here. They came out of the Mid-Atlantic Fault here. That's what I wanted to show you here. Okay? It's very interesting. A few minutes ago, we had 35 people watching this program. It's dropped to 25. Nobody's interested but see this. Guys, we may be living in our history here. We may be living history. We may be seeing a time when Iceland is separated. We may be seeing a time when Iceland separates. When Iceland separates. We may see it. As I said before, I've never seen this kind of earthquake coverage here ever. Never. 100 plus earthquakes right there. 2.2, 3.4, on the fault. Going south, 2.0, 2.1, 2.2, on the fault, 2.0. West of there, a 3.2. Further south here, a 3.3. Like I said, we could be seeing the separation of the island. Separation of the island. Let me also tell you about the Mid-Atlantic fault here. Further south here today, this is a large 5.1 large earthquake here, the North Mid-Atlantic. Yesterday we had a 5.6 right here. 5.6 down here in the South Mid-Atlantic here. Large earthquake. The energy is definitely moving north. The energy has moved north here, guys. Large 5.1 earthquake right there in the Mid-Atlantic. Again, what's the Mid-Atlantic fault doing? It's expanding, pushing Europe and Africa in easterly direction. It's pushing South America, Central America, Northern Mexico, the United States and Canada, and Greenland in a southwesterly direction. It may be splitting Iceland in half. It may end up splitting Iceland in half. We don't know. I wanted to point that out. Going over here to South America. There are 48 earthquakes here in South America. The majority of the earthquakes are right here. Majority of the earthquakes are right here in Central Chile area. Central Chile and also over in Argentina. This earthquake here is at 4.1 earthquake here. Near Caguanes, Chile. This is a 4.3 earthquake here. I can't pronounce the name of this town, but it starts with a C. Chiguayante, Chile. 4.3 earthquake here. The majority of the earthquakes are right here. Another majority of here are in the north part of Chile here, in southern Peru. USGS is showing us 2 earthquakes here. This is a 4.2 earthquake here. This earthquake happened at approximately 8 p.m. last night. They're still showing a 4.2 earthquake here, but there are dozens of earthquakes right here. Dozens. A brand new earthquake in red here just happened. This is a 4.6 earthquake here. 53 miles west-northwest of Puerto Chile. There are earthquakes here in South America. But again, USGS is never going to show them. Look at this. Earthquakes all over Chile and Argentina here. In the Andes Mountains here of Chile, border region of Argentina, right there. Argentina here. Foothills of Argentina. 2.9, 3.0 earthquake right there. Over to the west, also in the foothills. Mataguenos, San Juan, Argentina. 2.8 earthquake there. Over the coastline. 2.9, 2.6 earthquake right there. Going north. Look at all these earthquakes here. Like I said, USGS is not even coming close to showing all the earthquakes. They never do. Never ever do. Now, I want to show you one more earthquake here. Over in southern Peru here. This is near Apurimac, Peru. 4.0 earthquake right there. 4-point earthquake here in southern Peru. Why are they not showing 4.0s here? Why not? Southern Peru, guys. Southern Peru. Yet they're showing this 4.95.0 off the coast of northern Chile. But they're not willing to show a 4.2 earthquake here near Permiac, Peru. It's insane, guys. It's totally insane. Northern Peru. Up here, northern Peru, guys. Northern Peru here. South of Ecuador. 4.8 earthquake there. Just inland here is a 4.4 in Ecuador. 4.4 in Ecuador here. Going north. Colombia here. Southern Colombia. 3.3 earthquake here. Santander, Colombia. 2.93.0 earthquake there. Going north. Bucaramanga. 3.8 earthquake there. Not showing them. There's Bucaramanga there. They're not showing any earthquakes, are they? None. None. How about Venezuela, guys? How about Venezuela? 4 earthquakes here. Okay? 4 earthquakes. Here's a 3.1. I'm going to work my way south and east. Okay? 3.1 small earthquake there. 2.8, 2.2, and 2.0. 1 small and three minor earthquakes right there. This is in Venezuela. Earthquakes all over South America. USGS says nothing. They say nothing here. They're showing 3 earthquakes here. They're showing 1 earthquake down here in Costa Rica. Actually, Nicaragua, Costa Rica border. They're showing a 4.0 earthquake here. Off the coast here. 22 miles south of Rosario, Nicaragua. I have a problem with that. I have a problem with that. There are 17 earthquakes here in Central America. 17. Look what's going on here in southern Mexico. 54 earthquakes here in southern Mexico. 54 earthquakes. USGS shows 1 earthquake. Aguilita, southern Mexico. 4.4 earthquake. Interesting, but no cigar. All these earthquakes here, ranging from the northern border of Guatemala all the way north to Puerto Vallarta here. We have earthquakes near Puerto Vallarta here. This one, Cacoma, Jalisco, Mexico. 3.2 earthquake. South of Puerto Vallarta. The southwest of there, 3.4 and 3.0. Small earthquakes. South of there, a 3.5. These are 3s, guys. There are 3.0s, 4.0 earthquakes here. Why they're not showing them all? There are 3.0, 4.0 earthquakes down here in southern Mexico. All kinds of earthquakes here, guys. Yet they don't want to show them to us. Don't want to show them to us. 3.1s, 3.5s, 3.0s, 3.6s, 3.3s, Here's the 3.9, 4.0 earthquake right there. Okay? Here's another 4.5 right there. They don't want to show earthquakes, do they? They never do. They never do. Up here near Hidalgo, Oaxaca, Mexico, 4.0 right there. They're not showing that either. Not showing that either. 4.0, there's another 4.0 offshore. 4.0 offshore. 4.1. 4.1, two 4.1s as well. 3.2. 3.8. 3.4, 3.8, 3.2, another 3.8 right there, just offshore. They don't want to show any earthquakes. Oh, nothing's going on. Nothing's going on. How about here in the Gulf of California? How about in the Gulf of California, guys? What are they showing us? Nothing. Not a thing. How about starting down in Cabo San Lucas here? Right down here. We have earthquakes here, guys. We have earthquakes here. 2 earthquakes here. This is a 3.6 earthquake here. Just north of there is a 4.1. They're not even showing moderate earthquakes here at all. Heaven forbid. Heaven forbid. But further right here, right there, that is also 4.1 earthquake there. Not showing that, are they? Not at all. Let's go further north here. Further north here, right here. This is a 3.4 small earthquake there. That's the San Andreas Fault, guys. The San Andreas Fault. Runs all the way down to southern Mexico. From northern California all the way down to southern Mexico. Cuts through northern Mexico here. Gets down here in southern California. Just east of the Salton Sea here. San Andreas Fault. If I were to show you the seismograms here, Bombay Beach, California right there, on the east side of the Salton Sea. This is where the San Andreas Fault goes under the Salton Sea here, Bombay Beach. Every day here we have 3.5, 4.0, 4.5 earthquakes here every day. 10 to 15, 3.0, 4.5 earthquakes every day here at Bombay Beach. Excuse me. And yet USGS doesn't want to show us any earthquakes. It's astounding to me. It's astounding to me they don't want to show earthquakes here. Why not? Why not? They're showing us one earthquake right here, northwest of Westmoreland. USGS and Caltech had a seismograph here in Westmoreland. They've hid it from us. They hid it from us. They had a seismograph here that was printing out seismograms every day. Westmoreland was having 25 to 50 earthquakes a day, every day. USGS is showing us one earthquake here, a 2.2 minor earthquake here. Interesting, but no cigar. Here's Calipatria here. They have a seismograph here at Calipatria. They used to show us anywhere from 75 to 150 earthquakes here in Calipatria every day. Now they're trying not to show earthquakes here at all. They want us to believe nothing's happening here in the town or county of Imperial County. They don't want us to believe anything that's going on, but there is. They might not be showing the seismogram, but earthquakes are still happening here, regardless of whether they want to show them to us or not. They happen here every day. One of our own EMA family members lives down here in El Centro. In El Centro here. Right here. Here in El Centro, there's a seismograph here. Every day they have tremors, minor earthquakes, and 3.0 earthquakes here. 3.0, 3.9 earthquakes happen here every day. 9, 10, 15 times a day. Here in El Centro. North there's a town called Imperial. You see it on your screen here. This town of Imperial has anywhere from 30 to 50 earthquakes every day. Just because USGS and Caltech doesn't want to show them to us doesn't mean they don't exist. They do. They do. Anywhere from tremors, minor 2.0, yet they're not shown here. Why not? Right here. The town of Holtville. Town of Holtville. As most of you know, I've been here in Holtville. I haven't lived here. I visited here several times. I had debate tournaments I took part in here in Holtville. I have a nice high school here, out here in the desert of Imperial Valley. Here in the Imperial Valley, they have a museum of sorts called the Salton Sea Desert Research Station here in Holtville. They have a seismograph here. The seismograph here was showing anywhere from 30 to 70 earthquakes every day in Holtville. Minor tremors, 1.0, 1.9, 2.0, 2.9, and also 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes here in Holtville every day. Why are they not showing them? They want everybody to believe nothing's going on. All throughout the Imperial County here. All throughout the Imperial County, going up here in North Imperial County right here. They have anywhere from 450 to 550 earthquakes every day. 450 to 550 earthquakes here a day, every day. Yet they would have us believe nothing's going on. We've been, in my time, showing earthquakes here. We've had 3 5.0 earthquakes here in the Imperial Valley in the last 7 years. 3 large earthquakes down here in the Imperial Valley in the last 7 years. Most of those have been on the San Andreas Fault here. They've been on the San Andreas Fault right here. Yes, right here, guys. The San Andreas Fault comes out from underneath the Salton Sea, just north of Calipatria, comes down here where you see this earthquake right here on the San Andreas Fault. 2.2 earthquake here, northwest of Westmoreland, California. Yeah. Yet, they don't want to show any other earthquakes here on the San Andreas at all. They're trying not to show anything. Yet scientists, USGS included, is saying that at any point in time, today, tomorrow, next year, the San Andreas Fault is going to pop here. The San Andreas Fault is going to pop. We've talked about this in the past. It's locked and loaded. Locked and loaded here. But they want us to believe nothing's going on here. They want us to believe nothing's going on. 1.5 tremor here in Indio, California. North of Indio, California here, guys. A lot more is going on than that. Yes, there's a 5.1 earthquake here near Indio, California, just a couple months ago. This 1.5 tremor here is an aftershock from that 5.1 earthquake here just about a month or so ago. North of there, this is on the San Andreas Fault, guys. Right here. Joshua Tree, California. Northwest of the San Andreas Fault. 1.2 tremor, guys. Now, if USGS and Caltech had not cut off the seismographs here, I could show you earthquakes here in Joshua Tree that blow your mind. Not just one 1.2 tremor either. Dozens. Dozens of earthquakes here. Going north here. Again, right next to the San Andreas Fault here. Yucaipa, California. 0.6 microquake here. In the mountains just northeast of the San Andreas Fault here. This is a 0.9 microquake near Running Springs, California. South of there on the San Jacinto Fault, right here. 3 earthquakes here. Loma Linda, California, where the world-renowned medical center is here, Loma Linda. Guys, this is a 1.0 tremor. There's dozens of them here, not just one. For the north here, this is north of Loma Linda. Actually, let me zoom in here. They say this is 1 mile north of Loma Linda. It's in Loma Linda, California. Look at that. It's in Loma Linda, guys. They say it's 1 mile north. It's not. It's in Loma Linda. Right next to it. This is a 1.1 tremor here as well. Loma Linda, California. Now, guys, guess where the medical center is? Guess where the medical center is? Right there. That's Loma Linda Medical Center right there. Okay? Up here to the north. This is 0.7 tremor here near Colton, California. Near Colton, California, north of Colton, California. This is closer to San Bernardino, California here. Okay? Incredible. Incredible. Over here, Fontana, California. If USGS had not taken down the seismograph here in Fontana, I could show you dozens of earthquakes here. Literally dozens of earthquakes. Fontana, California. We used to have 2 or 3, at least 2 or 3 3.0 larger earthquakes. 2 or 3 3.0 earthquakes and larger here in Fontana. USGS is showing us this. 0.5 microquake. They have dozens of microquakes here every day. Fontana, California. This they have is 0.9, 1.0 tremor here. Fontana, we have dozens of those as well. Also here, right here. Also in Fontana, this is 0.8 microquake. As I said, they have dozens of microquakes, dozens of tremors, and they have had dozens of minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.9, and anywhere from 3 to 4 3.0 earthquakes here in Fontana before. They're not showing anywhere close to that here at all. Nowhere. They're showing one measly incident here. Southwest of Corona, California. 0.3 microquake here. 0.3 microquake here. They're not showing anything else here in the LA area at all. There are dozens of earthquakes here, guys. Dozens. Anaheim, California, right here. I could show you a seismogram completely full of tremors minor earthquakes, and also 3.0 earthquakes here in Anaheim, California. All over. If they had not shut down the seismogram here at Anaheim, I could shoot all kinds of earthquakes here. Not just that. How about Long Beach? Long Beach. Every day at Long Beach, I was showing you anywhere from tremors 1.1 to 1.9, minor earthquakes 2.0, 2.9, and 3.0 earthquakes here in Long Beach. Sometimes as many as 5 3.0 earthquakes here in Long Beach, California. They don't show anything on this earthquake map. They never do. They never do. Why not? They want everybody to believe that USGS is not showing anything because nothing happens. Guess what? It does. It does. I've shown those earthquakes to you in the past. Just because they don't have seismograms that show the earthquakes doesn't mean the earthquakes stop. They haven't. Earthquakes have continued. I promise you the earthquakes have continued. Now the bad thing is, when the San Andreas Fault pops here, it's going to pop a 6.5 to 7.5 earthquake here in the Southern California region, up towards a 7.5 major earthquake here in Southern California. When that happens, the San Andreas Fault is going to activate all the other faults in this region. All the other faults in this region. All over Los Angeles, all over San Diego, all over the Imperial Valley. Earthquakes as large as 5.0, 6.0, 6.5 are going to happen all over this region. This place is going to be devastated, guys. Southern California is going to be devastated. It's going to be destroyed. All the other ancillary faults are going to be hit with this earthquake. All kinds of seismic activity is going to happen. I'm not trying to instill fear here. That's not the point. The point is, we need to be prepared for earthquakes here. They're happening, but they're not showing them. They're not showing them because they don't want anybody thinking anything's going on. Heaven forbid. Northeast of Santa Barbara here. Northeast of Santa Barbara here. Right here. Lopette, California. LEBEC, California. 1.2 tremor on the San Andreas Fault again. San Andreas Fault. We go to the east, to the west here, to the northwest here. This is Los Olivos, California. 2.2 earthquake here. 2.2 earthquake here. This just south of the Oceana Fault. Notice where Santa Maria is here? That's the southernmost part of the Oceana Fault here. Going north here on the San Andreas Fault right here. Parkfield, California. Parkfield, California, guys, is the center of the largest earthquake town in the world. Parkfield, California is the earthquake capital of the world here. This is a 0.4 microquake here in Parkfield, California today. They probably have more earthquakes than that, but they don't want to show them here. Right here. San Bernardino, California. 2.0 earthquake here. Going north here on the San Andreas. The pinnacles, guys, the pinnacles. Not only is it on the San Andreas, but this is also oil and gas earthquakes here. Oil and gas fracking earthquakes here. This is a 2.2 minor earthquake. This is a 1.2 tremor here. Going north here. This is just east of what? Monterey Bay, California. Aromas, California. Aromas, California. On what? The San Andreas Fault here. The San Andreas Fault. Guys, this area is one of the most dangerous areas to live. Why? Because right here, you have the San Andreas Fault here. Just to the east, you have the Hayward Fault right there. And east there, you have the Calaveras Fault right there. Three of the most dangerous fault lines in the world sit right here, south of San Francisco Bay. Unreal, guys. Unreal. We go north here, right here. Guess what we have? Santa Rosa, California. 1.6 tremor here. 1.6 tremor on the San Andreas Fault. We go east here. We go east. We have the Hayward Hill just east of San Francisco Bay. We have an earthquake right here. San Ramon, California again. San Ramon, California here. This is a 1.5 tremor here. San Ramon, California, but it's not the only one here. Guys, this is a 2.0 minor earthquake here. And this is a 2.8. 2.8 earthquake here, guys. San Ramon, California. What's going on here, guys? Back in December, actually November, I believe it was, back in November, we had a 4.8 earthquake that was downgraded to 4.5. One of our own EMA family members has a daughter that lives here in San Ramon. No, these are minor earthquakes. Nobody felt these earthquakes. However, she still lives here. She felt the 4.8 earthquake here, guys. I believe we're going to have a large earthquake here very soon. Earthquakes not gone away. They've even continued. These are aftershocks of the large earthquake. All three of these are aftershocks of the large earthquake that hit here back at the end of November. Earthquakes are still happening here in San Ramon. Earthquakes are happening all over San Francisco area, all over the Bay Area. But USGS is not going to show them to us because heaven forbid they admit to anything that's going on. They'll never do that. They never do that. Earthquakes up here. Santa Rosa. We had a 4.5 earthquake here in Santa Rosa. This is a 1.6 tremor here. 2 miles east-northeast of Santa Rosa here. Guys, this is still in the suburbs of Santa Rosa, California here. Still in the suburbs. 1.6 tremor. Nobody felt this earthquake. It was very much a tremor here. Nobody can feel tremors here. Now, going north. This earthquake storm here is due to this volcano here. The Clear Lake volcano here. Men have drilled into the Clear Lake volcano in an attempt to get steam to power turbines here in the geysers facility here. The geysers facility here is a geothermal area. Geothermal area. Typically, they have anywhere from 20 to 40 earthquakes a day, sometimes as many as 100. Just a few weeks ago, we had 100 earthquakes here in the geysers facility area. Why? Because each one of these drill points is a man-made earthquake fault. Everywhere where they drilled to get steam from the Clear Lake volcano is a drill point, a man-made earthquake fault. Everywhere they have a man-made earthquake fault, when seismic energy reaches off the Pacific plate over here on the North American plate, it strikes those man-made earthquake faults and fractures the rock inside the earthquake faults. And all of a sudden you have ground movement, known as earthquakes. That's what's going on here south of the Clear Lake volcano here in the geysers facility. All over this area, guys. Literally all over this area. Right here. Right here, guys. Right here, I believe, is a turbine facility right there. right there. That's a turbine facility right there. There are 81 turbines throughout this region. 81 turbines throughout the geysers facility. They take steam from the volcano, run the steam through PVC pipe alongside all the roadways here until they find a turbine facility here. They put the steam into the turbine facility to generate electricity here. To generate electricity right here in the geyser facility. Right here's another turbine facility right there. Crazy. They do it all the time. They've been doing this for about 50 years now. There are more earthquakes here in Northern California, but they're not showing them. They're not showing any earthquakes whatsoever here in Oregon except one place. One place here, Mount Hood. Usually they don't even show earthquakes here at Mount Hood. There are many, many earthquakes here at Mount Hood. Here at the summit of Mount Hood, guess what? There is showing an earthquake here, a tremor here, microquake actually. 0.1 microquake here. Guess what? It may be at the summit, but it's down inside the volcano. This is 1.8 miles down inside Mount Hood. Down inside Mount Hood, a microquake here. What I'm going to tell you is this. Yes, we can show earthquakes here at Mount Hood and every one of these volcanoes here. Every one of them. Right down here. This is called government camp here. Government camp. There is a seismograph here at government camp. Guess what? This seismogram here isn't called government camp. It's called Timberline. Here at Timberline, we see tremors, microquakes, minor earthquakes, and 3.0 earthquakes here at Mount Hood every day. Every day. Then about 3/4 of the way up Mount Hood, right about this area right here, there's a ski lift here. There's a ski lift called Palmer Lift. Palmer Lift also has a seismograph at the ski resort. Guess what they show here? They show microquakes, they show tremors, they show minor earthquakes, and yes, occasionally they'll even show 3.0 earthquakes here at Palmer Lift on Mount Hood. Yeah, earthquakes every day. But heaven forbid they show this here on this map. They never do. I don't believe they ever will. Now, let's go back here 3 years ago. Right here 3 years ago. There was a huge swarm of earthquakes, 128 earthquakes hit here just 3 years ago. That Sunday, USGS called a volcanic eruption alert. They actually thought Mount Hood would erupt. It didn't. The earthquakes dissipated here. Most of them were just tremors. But they even had some minor earthquakes and small 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes here at Mount Hood on that Sunday afternoon. They dissipated and went away. Earthquakes are still hitting here, no matter whether they show them or not. Every day here at Mount Hood, all the time. All the time. Then, over here, Mount St. Helens. Rarely, if ever, do they show all the earthquakes. They never do. Never have, never will. They're not showing any earthquakes at all here at Mount Hood. Not Mount St. Helens either. Nothing here. Now, guys, I could show you this seismograph here, several seismographs here at Mount St. Helens. Mount St. Helens is still very active. Mount St. Helens is very active. Mount St. Helens could erupt at any time. Could erupt at any time. That's why they're not showing anything going on here. Heaven forbid they want to show us anything going on here. They don't want to admit what's going on here at all. Nothing at all. Over here north of Mount St. Helens, they're saying this is a 0.1 microquake, 19 miles west of, actually 19 miles south of Morton, Washington. Guess what? This is nowhere near Morton, Washington at all. Nowhere near it. This is north of Mount St. Helens. Also here, Studebaker Ridge is right here. I could show you a segment full of earthquakes here at Studebaker Ridge. All kinds of them. Literally all kinds of them. There's also another seismogram here near Spirit Lake. All kinds of earthquakes here. Trade Dollar Lake here. Trade Dollar Lake here. They're not showing anything going on there either, are they? They're showing a microquake here near Mossy Rock, Washington. 16 miles south-southeast of Mossy Rock, Washington. Gosh, they still can't get it right. They can't get it right. 0.8 here, 6.08 microquake. 16 miles south-southeast of Mossy Rock, Washington. Let's go over here to Mount Rainier. Rarely, if ever, do they show any earthquakes here at Mount Rainier. Today, they showed us a couple. One earthquake here near the rim of Mount Rainier right here. 1.5 tremor here. Again, they're mislocating this earthquake as 9 miles east-northeast of Ashford, Washington. They're still not showing this earthquake at Mount Rainier. How about this earthquake here in the foothills of Mount Rainier to the east? They're saying this is 0.7 microquake. Guys, they're also saying this is 19 miles north of Packwood, Washington. Again, this is Mount Rainier, guys. It's a volcano. Heaven forbid they accurately portray anything here. There are literally dozens of earthquakes hitting here at Mount Rainier, dozens of earthquakes hitting at Mount St. Helens, and they won't show them to us. There are microquakes, there are minor tremors, there are minor earthquakes, and there's at least 1 or 2 3.0 earthquakes that hit here at Mount Rainier every day. Every day. All those earthquakes indicate is that Mount Rainier and Mount St. Helens are getting ready to erupt. That's what they're saying here. But heaven forbid anything was happening here at Mount Rainier at all. They don't want to tell us about it. Ever. Not ever. Let's go over here east of Seattle here. Okay, Falls City, Washington. 3 miles northeast of Falls City, Washington. 0.3 microquake. Fascinating, but no cigar. 0.5 microquake. 6 miles northeast of Snoqualmie, Washington. Really? Really? Is that all, guys? How about this 1.2 tremor here? 6 miles northeast of Snoqualmie, Washington. Yes, earthquakes hit here, guys. They hit here. But there are actually more earthquakes here than they're showing here. There are a lot more earthquakes than they're showing here. I could show you seismograms all over Washington and Oregon, showing you earthquakes hitting every day. Every day. But heaven forbid they show us anything here at Mount Baker. Or even further down here to the southwest over at Glacier Peak. Not going to show them to us. Not going to show them to us at all. Because they don't want us to believe anything that's going on. But Mount Baker Mount Baker here is ready to go. Ready to go. It's a very busy volcano at Mount Baker. But heaven forbid they tell us that. Heaven forbid they tell us that, guys. Very, very busy volcano. I can show you seismic from Mount Baker. Blow your mind. Blow your mind. It's going. Earthquakes happening all over the San Andreas. All kinds of earthquakes here happening on the Cascada Fault Zone. On the Cascada Fault Zone. Every day. Every day. But they're not showing to us. They're not going to. Now, guys, I'm going to end this program right now. We're closing in on 8 o'clock. I didn't mean to go this long at all. But you need to see this. Everybody needs to know what's going on here. As I said before, if we don't show them here, nobody's going to understand what's happening here. Then when a major earthquake hits here, or the volcano goes, or we have the Cascade earthquake right here off the coast of Seattle, Washington. The Cascade earthquake here. 9.0, 10.0 earthquake here. If we don't show them, nobody's going to even know about it. Because the USGS is telling everybody nothing's going to happen. Yeah, that's what they're saying, guys. They say nothing's going to happen. But it's true. Something is going to happen. It's a matter of time. It's literally a matter of time. Now, guys, here, I'm going to end this program in just a second here. Before we end this program, there's something very important we need to talk about. We're coming very close to Easter. This coming Sunday is going to be Palm Sunday, where Christ entered into Jerusalem for the last time. Entered into Jerusalem for the last time. Guess what's going on? Guess what's going on, guys? Let's talk about Jesus Christ. Prior to his death, he and his disciples over to Gethsemane, the garden, where he told his disciples to kneel down and pray for him. Then he went further and came over here into the garden, and he kneeled down and prayed. Prayed to his heavenly Father. Father, if thou wilt, take this burden from me. Nevertheless, not what I will, but as thou wilt have done be done. Christ knew from the time he was born his mission. He knew his mission. He knew he had to take upon himself the whole world's sins, all the sins of the entire world. He knew what he'd have to experience. Here, while he was praying in the Garden of Gethsemane, he wept great drops of blood from his pores. Great drops of blood from his pores here in the garden. At one point in time while he was praying, he got up from his knees and went into where his disciples were on their knees asleep. Falling asleep. He woke them up. He asked them, "Why are you asleep? I asked you to pray for me." They started praying for the Savior. Then Christ went back into the garden and finished praying. After that, they took him, bound him, took him before Pontius Pilate, sentenced him to death. They whipped him with belts. They scored his body. They put a huge crown of thorns on his head, further piercing his flesh. Then they made him carry his cross through the streets of Jerusalem to Golgotha, where they crucified him. Friday is the anniversary of his death on the cross at Golgotha. One of my friends, Richard Paul Evans, wrote this poem 2 weeks ago. Richard wrote, "Oh Lord, if I could borrow just one breath, from the night you walked the garden alone, not to ask for miracles, not to beg for proof, but to feel what it was like to be enough. Just enough. Without the weight of tomorrow's promises. And if you answered, I'd probably cry. Not because it hurt, but because I finally stopped pretending. I finally stopped pretending. I knew how to carry it all. So keep the stars. Keep the thunder. Just let me sit here in the dark and believe you're still listening." Richard Paul Evans, 2 weeks ago. Brothers and sisters, I testify to you today, Christ lives. Christ lives. After he was resurrected, he showed himself to Mary. He showed himself to his disciples. He showed himself on a different continent. He said in the scriptures, in the New Testament, "Other sheep I have which are not of this fold. Them will I also bring to me." He visited with the people in Americas. Christ died for all of us. Everyone who's ever lived, everyone who ever will live. He died for each one of us. So that death is not the end. Death is just the beginning of a second portion of our lives. We are going to live again. We're all going to be resurrected just like Jesus Christ was. May God bless each one of us. During this Easter season especially, we may thus get us our own testimony of the Savior, the Lord Jesus Christ, in our own lives. May God bless us to that end. I bear my testimony to you that God lives, hears and answers our prayers. May God be with you this day and always. If anything else happens today, we'll be back on the air to tell you about it as soon as the information becomes available again. Have a great night, guys. I ask God to bless you. I ask God to be with you this day and always. God be with you until we meet again. We'll see you on the other side. Good night, everybody. Much love. Take care. May God bless you and be with you always. Good night, everyone. See you soon.
This morning, sun's a bit hazy, checking the forecast, things looking crazy, a storm on the horizon, the pressure is low, gotta get moving, put on a show. The news is all buzzing, state of alert, but we've got a plan, we're ready to work. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates, from the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in starting to fall. It's more than a job, it's a calling, you see. Prepared for the present and what's yet to be. Every second counts, we're ready to react for our communities. We're making an impact. Emergency Management Associates. We're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates. We're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates. Connecting the dots, we're making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. Yeah, we're picking you up, we're ready to go. EMA, let's get this show on the road.
We've already done the show. Have a good night, everybody. Much love. We'll see you soon.